All right, now I'm going to go over C33 formation. So basically, the main change here is that your T11 Titan infantry becomes your main melee troop instead of your T10 shredders. You can see right here. And I'm going to fight a T11, it has T11 tanks, mid-range opponent. All right, so the reason I include T11, T10 shredder still is because on attack, they reduce 40% damage for the first 4 seconds. So in these first 4 seconds, they will still be better than the T11 Titan infantry. However, in the long run, the T11 infantry will be better. So I just try to include enough shredders that they can take 3 full-on attacks from my opponent's main troops. On the third attack, ideally, I'll only have a little shredders left to make my opponent effectively waste an attack. Here, this wasn't really the case because my opponent's main troops, which were rockets. Rocket launchers were on the side of my T11 infantry, so they attacked my T11 infantry first. I can't really control that, but that is basically the point of still including shredders. Through trial and error, when you include all these back row troops and other padded units like I did, and unlike this person, the game effectively will favor your attacks versus your opponent's main attacks, especially when you're a mid-range and a mid-range fighter. I tried including like I suggested in previous videos, the one of that just dies from the destructive lightning. But what happens is, like, maybe it's just coincidence for over many games, but they, in a mid-range fight, then their rocket launchers will end up attacking my rocket launchers or my zombies or doing more ideal attacks than I am. So if you just want to mitigate this, and this, I think a lot of the times, the chance thing is just to help out people who spent more money than other people, because you're going to kind of get screwed over. But this is the best way to mitigate it. And the other advantage of it is that if you have enough back row troops, they can swallow up enough of those green zombie attacks such that your female Titan, which is usually the first thing that gets attacked once your back row troops are gone, lives longer. And that can change the game, especially for long range fights. So sometimes in long range, you want to even, if you're fighting a long range that's stronger than you and has more troops than you, and you still want to beat them, which you can, a strategy is like deploying a little more back row troops so that your female Titan, see how my female Titan's about to die, yeah, that your female Titan lives. And oftentimes that's very important because your female Titan has a lot of abilities to pump, like damage reduction and other stat boosting powers that really swing the game in your favor. Yeah, so that's the mid-range fight. This person had higher melee HP, higher long-range attack. Still lost. Like you can see right here, I don't have, I focus on the melee HP, the damage, and attack reductions as mentioned in previous videos. But, okay, that time I had 301, but essentially, that is the game plan, is just as I mentioned. This is just me going through showing how this person had 478.4 and 621.3 long range attack. So not only beats me in actually I beat him slightly in the melee HP because I guess I had a small buff, but melee is very important. And then the one thing I noticed is, like, even though I have beaten T10 or T11 long range opponents, I start losing to people when they're a C34 with T11 cannons and T11 tanks. Like this person, I used to beat them all the time. They finally attacked me. And the reason it's really hard to beat someone that's T11 long range as a rocket launcher is your main attack unit, is because, look, your rocket launchers are going to end up shooting their melee troops or shooting their golems with their special abilities, and they never attack the T11 cannons because they can't reach them. So by the time they can reach them, it's too late. Now that I'm going to be C34 soon, I want to see how important attack is when I now have to switch back to long range. I'm still hybrid, but as you can see, I can still beat long range or mid range, even though they have a higher attack and even when they specialize it as a hybrid player, because attack a lot of times does not really matter. Honestly, if you really care about one-on-one fights, it seems like just boosting up melee HP and then melee damage reduction is really the way to go about things. Here's an example of how someone can have T11, mostly T11 troops, but they don't have any melee HP, so yeah, even though they had gold titans and a purple warplane, they still lost because that's such a bad formation. Like, melee is the most important. For one-on-one fights, there's just melee is just the most important troop type. If you're not strong in melee, it's gonna be uphill battle. This person probably would have whooped me if they just had a lot of T11 tanks and T11 infantry. Yep, he has like higher. Why would you attack like that when you have, like, compared to me, he has higher melee HP than me. Like, so obviously you spend more money, but like, that's why formation is very important.